We're gonna keep this.
Ryan can cut it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Whoa, anyways, carry on.
Hey, what's going? We're talking fitness and health today.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of like
we were
the
just talking
direction
about
we
it.
just went into. Yeah. And so we were talking about taking that cold shower, 30 seconds. At the end of every shower or every second shower.
Yeah,
like
the guys
whichever,
should start
right?
with every second shower,
But they're even saying like those guys in Sweden and stuff that do the polar dips and the cold water, they're like some of the healthiest guys around.
Yeah.
Like they like just doing that is.
Yeah, it's like so weird, right?
It is, and it's simple, and you just kind of like gotta like I like that it's a mental thing, and that's where like I'm really trying to go in the last little while. And I really just started this week, so I did some. I'm doing like I did some crazy things this week. So
Okay.
first things first, on Sunday I went and got a massage, a full deep tissue massage, and I got gaishu. Ever heard of gaishu? It's a stone. And it's like a not sharp, but it's a very
like,
blunt edge, and they scrape you.
Okay.
It hurts.
No kidding.
Okay, it hurts, and so they scrape you, and but boy, like it felt good.
Yeah.
So they say it's kind of the equivalent to cupping. That's what this lady told me, and so it's pushing all the toxins out, right? And so I did that Sunday, and then. Holy man, she went into the so I've had like some tightness in my lower back, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's in my glutes. I think my glutes are pulling on my lower back, and it's causing that problem because I would lay on the ground and do my like wing out stretch and then just cross my leg.
Yeah.
And I could feel that the pull in my glute was alleviating the pain in my lower back.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay, it's gotta be in my glute. Yeah. So I'm like, can you just work my glutes and go from there, right? So she's like, well, let me start at your toes, and then I'll work my way up.
Okay.
She takes her thumb and she drives that thing into the base of my foot, like in the middle. Holy fuck! The pain, was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so then she starts talking. She's like, "You got like planteritis or
plantar's feet,
plantar's fasciitis or whatever." And so I have to pay more. I was wiggling in too much pain to listen to her. I'm like, yeah, fuck, never. Just stop doing that. And then she's like, I'm pushing this hard. And she goes to my my calf, and she just presses into it. She's like, that's how hard I'm pressing. I'm like, no, that's impossible. Like, it felt like you took a hammer and just drove a freaking railroad spike through my foot. She's like, no. So she works both feet, and then she starts going up my calves, and then she gets into my my back of my thigh, my legs, and then into my glutes a little bit. But she's like, man, like you're messed up. Like you need like an actual like regiment. Like you need to come back here like weekly and continue this on. She's like, we haven't even gotten to your lower back. We haven't gotten your anything, chest, back, shoulders, nothing. So I was like, okay, cool. So I'm like, all right, done. So this Sunday I'm going back. So I'm going to get on this massage. Yeah. Basically like a plan, like a health plan. So then she's like, you need to go home, 2 to 3 cups of Epsom salts, and you got to soak in a bathtub full of Epsom salts. So I was like, I'll do you one better. So I went to Modern Gravity. Shout out to Modern Gravity, and did the float. For 60 minutes.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
And it's deprivation too, right?
Full deprivation. So I did that Sunday night at 7:00.
Yeah.
I'm going back this Sunday for a 90-minute session.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was kind of weird. Like it didn't really like do a lot for me. Like I didn't. So I was reading people's like, I kind of wanted to know what I was getting into. So I was reading people's like, experiences and stuff like that online. Some people were like, oh, like I went into space and like time and blah. And I'm like, fuck, I want that. Like I want to go
out of body.
I want to,
take a trip.
I want to go for a trip. Like I want to know where's my head when nothing else is stimulating. Right. And I couldn't get there. Like I my brain would just
You're still thinking about
still active.
Yeah,
right? So then I did a little more reading prior to going, and it said you should go 2 or 3 times because like the first time you're you're getting naked and you're laying in this room,
salt water.
You can have the lights on, you can have the lights off. I went lights fully off.
So is it a tank? Like, so the lights are off. Is it a tank that closes on you? Or?
No. So it's got a door.
Okay.
The water's only like a foot deep.
Oh, what?
No, it's crazy. But there's 1,200 pounds of salt in there. So when you get in, it feels when you put your foot in, it's fine because you're using your muscles to push the gravity.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, your whole.
But when you start to lay, it's almost like Jello. Like it's not, but it's not. It is, but
That's
it isn't.
cool. Yeah.
It's just like it's thicker. Like you can feel it's thicker, right?
Right.
And so you lay down, and then you just
have to let go.
Well, because you're thinking like a foot of water, like my ass is gonna hit.
Yeah,
the ground.
that's right.
Nope. It holds you up just fine.
Oh man.
Yeah,
it's
it's really cool. Like if you get a chance, go do it. And like it's decently priced. Like I think it was like $55 for an hour. And so anyway, I laid down. And there's different positions. Like you can put your hands up, you can go like this. I found when I put my hands down, like I was naturally like shrugging.
Yeah, I do.
Which is really bad because I was in there 5 minutes and my neck was killing me.
Yeah,
because I was like shrugging. So when I lifted my hands up, it felt way better, right? And the other thing that was cool is I thought, well, my hands up, I'm gonna start tingling.
Losing,
I'm gonna lose all that feeling, right?
Yeah.
But because you're laying down, it's not. It's actually, and you're perfectly flat because your butt doesn't sink. Your body kind of just goes into like the position.
Its most natural position.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh. But then I started noticing, I'm like, I have a pain. Like I have a pain in my neck. I got a pain in my shoulder. And it's like, okay, if this is my natural body, like nothing is influencing the way. This is how I hold my body naturally.
Yeah.
I got some problems. Like I gotta fix some shit.
Yeah.
And so I didn't go into outer space or nothing like that. I stayed pretty grounded. So I decided to go back. I bought this 3-pack because now that I know what to expect, I'm hoping I'll just go in on my next one with a
little more just be more chill.
Like I'm not cognitively thinking of like
what's going on.
What's going on? Do I have to worry about this? Do I have to think about that? Is salt getting my ear?
Some people were saying too, like it's more like it's almost like a supercharged like meditation session where like they leave feeling like they like slept for 8 hours.
And I totally get that.
Yeah.
I was trying to focus on my breathing. And the other thing that's wild is like when you put your head back, your ears are in the water too. You can't hear anything. I couldn't even hear my breathing. Like I couldn't.
No, see, but in the tub, like if you're in a hot tub or you're in like anywhere, and you put your.
It's usually muffled.
It's muffled, but you can hear like tuk, 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 or like
couldn't even hear my heart.
Nothing.
No,
really.
So I don't know about other people, but for me personally, I couldn't find my heart.
Yeah.
And I couldn't hear my breathing.
See, that's
as soon as I put my head back. Like
it's like when you have noise canceling headphones, you can still hear all your stuff.
Couldn't. There was one point where like I could feel my blood pump in my temples and my forehead.
Yeah.
And I was actually like physically trying or like mentally trying to like focus on that to find it.
Yeah.
And it was hard to find it. And I don't know if it was just because of the viscosity, like the thickness of the water.
Right.
And your head being back, but normally when you put your head in water, because it's like a lot thinner than that,
or maybe you're hearing just because the sound waves go through are in the water.
Yeah. And so I don't think anything travels because that water's so thick. So when your head goes back, it's pretty. That's interesting. It's pretty deprivating. I had if you touch the wall and you push yourself, and even though that was the other cool thing. You shut your eyes, open your eyes, same blackness. Like it was
because it's pitch black.
It was just black.
Yeah,
it is black as you can get.
Yeah,
so you close your eyes, open your eyes,
cool.
black. Wave your hand in front of your face, nothing. Right? Like you don't see nothing.
Yeah.
And then I liked this feeling. I would kind of tap the wall and then just kind of like make myself move.
Yeah.
And even though you can't see anything, you can feel yourself, right? Moving. And I like that. I thought that was kind of neat. So I'm going to try and go into it this Sunday with more just relax, just just get into the moment and then let the moment go and then see what happens. And like a lot of people were like, oh, you're going to get so bored. Like people wrote comments on the thing, like you're going to get bored or you get bored or whatever. And the owner was answering and saying, no, you don't get bored. Like it actually like feels like it whips by, right? Mm-hmm. It goes really fast. I was so aware that I was like, man, like if for a couple times I would raise my head out of the water because they're supposed to play music when your time is up. I lift my head out of the water. I'm like, did I miss it?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right. And so I wasn't, it was a little bit funky about that. But all in all, like it was a good experience. So I'm kind of on this for the next couple of months. I'm going to focus on the massage weekly, the deprivation, and then jiu-jitsu back every day. This week I tried to do it every day. I missed yesterday because I was like, man, like I'm going to overdo it. Like my neck was just like, like I haven't done this in like 12, 13 years where I've gone like that hard. And so try not to push it. And then I was doing strength and conditioning at home. So then I was lifting every day.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm gonna burn myself out.
Totally.
And I'm bad that way. If I decide I'm gonna do something, I'm balls in, like just let her all rip. And then a week later, I'm like, oh, I can't do this. And then I just shut off. When really, if I just like get
everything,
I gotta like ease my way into it.
Yeah.
And I'm bad at that. So anyway, this week was interesting. I'm still pretty sore, like just from jiu-jitsu, back muscles, like neck, shoulders, fingers, surprisingly, like just gripping.
Yeah.
Right. But then, like I said, like 4 matches on Tuesday, and yeah, just like I don't know how much those guys weighed. Like they were bigger than I was. I think they were because I like.
There's striking in jiu-jitsu though too,
no,
right?
No, we're just grappling,
shooting.
going in for chokes and whatnot. But like when you grab that gi and you come across the neck and you start and then one guy, he came across the top of my head and he got my nose in his forearm and he squeezed and I could feel my nose go. And I'm like, oh, I haven't felt that in a long time. Like just the discomfort.
Yeah.
But getting used to the discomfort again was like, oh man, like, you know, and then just rusty where like I get into full mount and then I'd be like, oh, like I know what to do, but I don't know how to get there now. And I'm like, how have I forgotten that? You know, and like little things that like if you don't drill it and if you haven't done it in so long.
That's the thing. Like even the even you have no like like because I did a little training, but it was more for fun. Like it was more just to do it, right? Like see what it's like. And I just remember they would show you something and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then they would do it to you and you're like, okay, that makes sense. And then you would do it to them in slow motion. You're like, hey, that makes sense. And then like 4 minutes later, my muscles wouldn't work.
Right.
I was like, I would like, not
you just blank.
You just blank.
Yeah.
You're just blank.
Yeah.
So it's just like, so I can only imagine how tight, like how thin the line is of just like just being in that split second, not just being gone because it's not like instantaneous.
Well, and then separating, like I can't punch this guy in the face even if I got full mount.
Right.
I have to
stick to this
form, right? So it's like I would get used to like getting into full mount and then just ground and pound, right? And then start dropping elbows, start dropping hands, whatever, right? And then you get to that top mount and you're like, all right, I have to go for a Kimura. I have to get just side control so I can do a north-south, or I have to do something different, right?
But now the MMA fighters train to get, like they have separate coaches for specific areas.
Yeah, they'll do a striking and then a ground.
But they're always sparring they're always sparring MMA rules.
I think so. Yeah. Like, I mean, unless
how could you separate that? Like you just said, like, I mean, especially those guys who are like, it's a
muscle
memory.
It's a mental game for sure. Yeah. Like, cause I mean, guys will go, I think a lot of guys will do jits and striking separately, training camps.
Right.
And like, even like here in Edmonton, like Frank Lee's, you know, they're primarily striking, Muay Thai, and boxing. And then, so we've got MMA fighters here in Edmonton that'll go train at Frank's and then go to a place like Hayabusa or Legends or something and just train jits. And then they have to, bring that together somewhere.
Right.
And like, that's a great point. And because I'm so far out of disconnected from the scene, where do you go to train the two
like,
together?
is that just in fight camp? Like before, like training for a specific fight or?
Yeah, that's specifically MMA. And like, you know, like Hayabusa does have an MMA, like, I just don't know what they're doing for professional fighters right now. Like, and in Edmonton, I'm so disconnected. I don't know who is in the MMA scene now anymore, other than like a couple of the older guys that I know, like even like Tanner Bozer out of Beaumont. You know, he went to UFC during the pandemic even, and he competed in Abu Dhabi and stuff. And yeah, like where is he? I don't know where he's going, where he can get. Well, there's a gym in Sherwood Park, Shaved Bear. I think that's the name of the group, is Shaved Bear or whatever, and they do everything. Like he goes into full, like I've seen him like full strikes in sparring, to takedown, to mount.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's interesting to not fall. It's hard to not fall into one discipline. Like I find like a lot of guys, if they're really good stand up, and I'm even like that. I love standing. I love full strikes and kicks and whatnot. And then to go to the ground, to know when it's time to go to the ground,
right,
or when it's time to stand. And then that's all dependent on your opponent too and stuff. Like. But anyway, from a training aspect, just for like just straight like getting in shape, shit.
Yeah,
like the cardio at a gym.
Well, the best shape I ever was when I was doing boxing.
Yeah,
that was like the best, like by a country mile.
Yeah,
like not even gym.
And that's
every
just
day,
like just
boxing.
Your shape, like your cardio and everything, like not if you're trying to get into bodybuilding or anything like that. And that's something like my neighbor up the road here, he's a military firefighter, jacked as shit, big boy. And he wants to do a bodybuilding competition.
Yeah.
And I said, well, let's do it. Like 2023, like October, there's some competitions, let's do it. So I think I'm going to try that. And I'm going to try and work it out where it's like in a men's physique. I don't want to get big. I don't want to be jacked. I'm going to do men's physique, which is like you wear board shorts.
Yeah.
And then you just work on that definition up top. Chest, abs, obliques, back,
but you know
shoulders.
what, though? You can't, you know what my problem is?
Yeah.
This is straight up. Like, I can't change what I eat. Like, I can't, the idea to, like, for me.
I get you.
And I know there's like an addiction involved in terms of like, once you're in it, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't do it any other way now, whatever. But it's just like the idea of like eating
kale.
Well, well, just eating in that way where like, it's like, oh, I can't have an old fashioned. I can't have that like, like that last, it's sort of like, I can get like 80% there, but that last 20% where it's just, you got to be like salmon, chicken, broccoli, brown rice. Nonstop every day, and you still have to hit your like 3,000 calories or 4,000 whatever it is.
It's like, the mental game.
Yeah,
like you have to like, and I mean, I know right now that's going to be my biggest challenge. It's always the diet's always been my biggest.
Because like, how
challenge.
can you say no to like, like it's like I eat okay. Like I do. Like I mean, I'm not. I'm not fat, right? But I got a little bit of here and there. But it's like. That idea of like after you go through a week of like life, and part of life and being Italian is eating. Like it's like that dinner
and good food
and it's like, and even I've been actually careful with my like portion sizes. I've actually been like, okay, like the pasta is only a quarter now of the plate, and I got I've been working on that, and it's like for the last while I've just been cognizant. Okay, like chill. But it doesn't change that I'm eating it. Like it doesn't change the like type of food that I'm eating,
Well, and if your activity level doesn't match it, then there's that.
I mean, we, and like going back to our very, very beginning where it's like people do nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like, even just, like until you do it, you don't realize you're like, like even if somebody's like, call it obese.
Yeah.
It's like, just walk around the block for 10 minutes. And it's like, that's already better than what you've been doing. Or like, Joe Rogan said one time, he's like, get like a 5-pound kettlebell and just like start moving it around.
Yep.
Just,
Or if you're watching TV, get one of those stationary bikes.
Yeah.
Like just do something simple, or a treadmill, and just walk on it.
Yeah.
Like if you just want to watch TV, like just walk on a treadmill while you're watching TV, or pedal on a bike.
But I admit that like it is like, I can't even fathom what it's like to like not be able to do even like housework.
Yeah.
Because you're, like now you're like, oh, let's move this couch, or let's move this, or like, we were doing our backyard. So I'm like, okay, there's like 4 or 5 boards I got to pick up and move, or like got to get on the ladder, got to move, that kind of stuff. And it's like, people can't even do that.
Yeah.
So where do you start? Like it needs to be that you need to start doing it knowing that it's not going to feel good, and you're not going to notice the difference for months. But you just have to start.
Yeah, and months is even an understatement sometimes. There's it's weird, but like when we see me and my wife when we're driving around, And if we see like larger people out walking or jogging or whatever, I love it. And I think we've said this before on the show. I'm like, good on you.
Yeah.
Like you're doing something.
Yeah.
You're just trying. And it's like, not that it's any of my business, but I like to see other people taking care of themselves and healthy. And like I think that's a good thing.
Well, it's positive. Like, it's like puts good energy out there.
And it's like, I'm not going to like, sorry, this is a bad term. I'm not going to fat shame anybody who decides like, I'm going to eat chips and sit on the couch. I'm like, well, that's your choice. Right. Yeah. But I like seeing people trying.
I love.
And I applaud it. When I see them out there, me and my wife are just like, good on you.
I love February at the gym.
February,
like January, February at the gym, and you look, and it's all new faces all the time, and then it's cool to see. Oh, it's been, and I won't even like. I'll realize it one day. I'll like see somebody's face. I'll be like, oh, they were here in January.
Yeah,
and it's like. April or May or June, here. And you're like, oh, and then and like to actually see them, it's so. I mean, it's like I'm not like a stalker or anything, but I mean, but it's just you just see these people and you see them actually get improve, right? And some of them like legit, like they were those people. Like you're like, yeah, man, like you got a long way to go, and they're with a personal trainer because they usually have those like you get free 4 sessions or whatever. But then you see them 6 months later, same trainer.
Yeah.
And they're going, right? They're going. And it's just like, wow.
And a trainer goes a long way.
Fair enough.
What if you see that person the next time you're in a gym, go and tell them how good they look. Because that alone changes the game for them.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think people are shy and they're like, you're saying like, I'm not a stalker. But if you see somebody like really fucking doing it, like go and tell them. Because like that you going and telling them, being like, hey man, like I saw you here like 3 months ago. You're looking dope, like you look good, or a girl or whatever. You're like, and it is like I'm not hitting on you. Just like
when you start the
you're
conversation,
doing. I'm not hitting on you. I just want to tell you, like you're doing great. Maybe that might be the wrong thing to say, but just don't listen.
Yeah, just don't. Just don't come up to girls. They don't.
No,
they don't want
go
you
to girls and just be like, man, you're looking fantastic. You're doing so good. Great job.
Yeah,
and because I think like so many people go it alone. But they get discouraged after like.
Well, and the other problem too, and this is more of a macro issue. Like, it's like friends don't help.
Mm-hmm.
Very
true.
And it's like Jordan Peterson said it like so good, but this was years and years ago before he got it's before he became something, right? Whatever. Right. But it's like be careful who you tell good news to.
Oh man.
That's be careful. That's in everything. So it's like that's what I'm saying macro, but it's like if you have a group of friends and you're all that person, you're all like a fuck it, like go to work, come home, eat chips, sit around, eat pizza, just we're overweight, unhealthy, whatever. And then one person breaks away and it's like, fuck this. Like I'm gonna like get in shape.
Yeah.
You basically like I hate to say it. It's like your friends will be sabotaging you the whole fucking way.
You alienate. You get alienated.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's the same thing with money.
Money,
like business,
anything. Totally.
Right? Like it's like, I love those sayings. Like, I saw one on Instagram a long time ago. That's why a bus has multiple seats and a Ferrari only has 2. Or a Lamborghini only has 2. What is it? It's like the road to success is a lonely road.
Yeah, it is.
That's why a bus has 100 seats and or a Lamborghini only has 2.
Yeah,
like stuff like that. Like Anyway, it's crazy. You have to like stay motivated. You have to surround yourself with the right people.
Yeah.
I've never been good in the gym. I'll go to the gym, but it's like I've never been good. I get too easily distracted.
See, I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
Like for me, I can't do at home. Like for me, the act of it's sort of part of my penance in a way. Like it's sort of like that feeling of like I don't feel like going, but the act of like putting your clothes, like changing into your gym shit or grabbing your bag and like going out the door, kind of like is the hump. Whereas like if that hump isn't there and the gym equipment's like because during fucking the shutdowns.
Yeah.
Which obliterated the fitness industry beyond belief.
Yeah.
We got some weights, we got the bench, we got the bike, set it all up in our basement. But man, it was tough. It was tough to do anything.
Yeah.
It just got us into that, like, but as soon as we're at the gym, you're like, I don't know.
It's funny. Like I get it, like mindset.
Yeah.
You know, at home there might be too many distractions.
Like I even eat better even if we eat out.
Yeah.
I eat better coming from the gym.
Okay.
Like, you know, like it's like even
like
if
stop at like a Freshie or something like that.
Like it's like you just have this
yeah,
weird like, oh fuck, okay, let's go to like Freshie or let's go to like Chop Leaf or like let's just do
Booster
this
juice or something.
Well, booster juice, but like that feeling of like it's weird. It just feeds into it, right?
Yeah.
Because you like finished, you're like sweaty, you like had a good workout, and then you're like, and then where do you? Oh, you know, we don't have anything at the house. Like we should pick something up. Where do you want to go? It's like, we don't want to like ruin what we just did. Like let's, you know.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's got different mindsets.
Yeah.
For me at home, it was more about, well, it was time. Like it'd take me 20, 30 minutes to drive to a gym.
Yeah. And we're lucky because it's like 5 minutes away. So
right.
It's like that's
so an hour for me just to drive to and from a gym throws me off.
Yeah.
I can walk right up. Like I mean, my gym's in the garage.
Yeah.
I got the bags. I got the weights. We just got the air bike, the water rower, and stuff like that. Full bench and whatnot. And I can get stupid sweaty. Go for a run with the dog, whatnot. Come right back in, go and have a shower. Come back downstairs. Eggs right there.
Yeah.
Like protein, whatever. Right. And so I just like the convenience of it all.
Yeah.
And the mindset here, I do get distracted sometimes. I what ends up happening, I just can't look at that freaking phone. Just can't look at that phone. Because an email, like I'll look at an email or I'll look at the news and then I'm like, what is that? And then I'll go and research it. Fuck it. I got to stay away from the phone and like leave the phone in my room. So I even put like all of my interval timers and everything right on my TV. So now the TV turns on, it goes right in the interval timer. I hit start. It gives me my 60 minutes, and it's like, hey, you're doing bench. You got a minute to do this many. Rest. Right back on the next set.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada. Right. So that's been good. Coming up with a really good plan, and that's where my week's been really right now. And then I like at the end on this interval timer system I have, it'll on Friday I can go like report, and it'll just show me like you went hard all week. Here's your thing.
So how does
Friday
it track
you
that?
dipped? Well, it just as long as like I have to be honest because I have to hit it and make sure I'm doing the workout.
So is it just a little box that's plugged into the TV? Like,
it's
or is it an app?
It's
or?
an app
on
Apple TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I went to town last week. I put an Apple TV in the garage. Got a Bluetooth JBL speaker system that I can throw my phone on or the Apple TV on.
Yeah.
And then but even something else I've started to do, I'll throw UFC on, throw one of the good fights I like, get on the bike or the rower, and then I'll do the 3-minute round.
Yeah.
So those guys will be punching each other in the face. I'm watching it,
and
but I'm giving her
her
on the bike, right?
Yeah.
And then same thing with striking. I'll have the bag up, throw the gloves on, boom, 5 3-minute round, or 5 3-minute rounds.
Yeah.
Go, and then I'll just do 3 5-minute rounds. They'll go hard on the bag. They'll go hard on each other. I'll go hard on that, and then I'm like listening to a fight in my head too because I'm listening to it. You know, I like that. Like I just kind of gets me more in the mood and stuff like that, and just like this. You know, will I ever go back and punch someone else in the face? I don't think I'm going to go back.
Do you think going back to the I mean that's I hate to say that's when I stopped boxing.
Right, because you're like, am I ever going to?
Well, it's like, and like when we started sparring, like really sparring, it's like I honestly like I didn't want to get my bell rung.
Yeah,
like I took a couple of hits, and it's just like I don't want to feel that way.
Between motocross and kickboxing in my early days, I took enough bell rings that I don't think I got looked at properly.
Right.
Like even in jits, I can't fully roll. Like I can't go into a full shoulder roll without getting up and feeling vertigo.
And just
I think I messed something up.
Yeah.
And I've never had it looked at, but I've been listening to a lot of podcasts about head trauma and stuff like that. And even just in the last like couple of months, not a lot, but I'll just listen to one here and there. And some of the guys, like Joe Rogan had a famous surfer on his show just a little while ago. And he was talking about concussions, being slammed by waves.
Yeah,
and
because
they
learned that it like hits even your body.
Well, it's like hitting concrete, man.
Yeah, like even if, and that's what they were saying with the the rugby players and the football players, it's not even the head. It's just actually
just the body.
the G's that the body. Yeah.
Just shape that. Yeah. Just shake that membrane, that gel that your brain is surrounded in.
Shake it up a little bit.
It ain't cool.
No,
and so I get full vertigo. Like I used to be able to spin like a son of a gun.
Yeah.
Like until I was like probably 25, 26. And then I got into a really bad motocross accident in an endurocross, and I got landed on by a guy. Like I went off a jump, off a tabletop. I landed. He went off at the same time, and he landed like flat on me. So 250-pound bike plus like a 200-pound dude slams into my back. I'm out like a light.
Yeah.
I don't remember nothing. Like I don't even remember. I vaguely remember hitting the tabletop.
Right.
But I just came off last round. Like, oh fuck, it sucked. But anyway, my mom and dad are there. My freaking girlfriend at the time are there, and like everyone's like, his back's broken. Like he's dead. He's dead.
Yeah.
Next thing I remember, waking up and I'm looking at the sun, and they're putting the straps on my forehead. They're putting me on the board, right?
Right.
And I've regained consciousness. They load me in the thing, and they're like, "Can you push on me?" And I'm like, at the time, I couldn't push with my toes. And he's like, "Yeah, like okay, well." And in my mind, I'm like, "Fuck!" Like I think my back might be broken.
Yeah.
And so I think, and ever since then, I'm pretty sure that's the time. I can't turn. I can't do a full rotation.
Yeah.
Like even like the other day, it was messed up. I went into the pantry, and then I came around the kitchen, and I forgot something. And for some reason, I did another loop. Just doing the loop around the kitchen,
man,
I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
I had to shake it off.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was so dumb. But jits, I'll get into a roll. I'm not like fully rolling. But just we call it rolling, but we're not rolling.
Yeah, it's like a turn.
Yeah, it's like, and I'm not like doing much, and I was fine. Like I feel good when I'm in the moment. It's just when I stop and when we're doing the warm ups, and then they just like, okay, shoulder rolls, cross the mat. I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna sit.
You can do like one, and then you get up, and then
I'm like, whoa. So I'll sit there and do jumping jacks or something like that just to keep warm.
When I was playing with my niece, same thing, and. I was playing with my niece and juniors, just goofing around.
Yeah.
And I did like a, like I
somersault.
did like, not a somersault. Well, you give me too much credit. But I rolled, I just did like a on the ground roll. Same thing. And I like rolled, and somehow I ended up like 3 feet over to the right where I started. And then and the room is just fucking going. And you're like,
you're seeing those stars.
Yeah, like you're just like,
man.
what?
It's
and then like, what? I used to be able to just like cartwheel.
Oh man, I'm watching Katana, and she's just like cartwell after cartwell. I'm like, how have you not puked yet? Like, and she's just back and forth. But
even I noticed it's gone bad. Like I don't know if I told you or I was talking to somebody else, but like the last time I was on a plane, the last trip, it was windy, like really windy.
Yeah.
And the plane was on the tarmac, and we were boarding. And when I like came into the aisle to go to my seat, as I'm walking, a gust came, and obviously it's a plane.
Yeah.
So the wing grabbed the wind, and the plane just went like this.
Ooh. Yeah.
Like just like this. Like you're on the ground still, so it's just the suspension in the and all of a sudden I was just like, and then it was just like like from just that little and it's random because like I got on the plane, we took off, did the rest, and it was fine. But it was just sort of like, it's almost like, was I looking...
Just that initial motion sickness, like that equilibrium in the ear.
Like I'm just looking at the wrong thing, or a couple times I was even
just
like...
caught you off guard.
Yeah, or like sometimes I'm like watching, on the TV, like I'll be like answering an email on my phone or on my laptop, and then there'll be like a car review on the television that I'll have in the background, and like they'll be doing like one of the in-car cameras where the camera's just overlooking the hood.
Yeah.
And the car's going while the guy's talking.
Yeah.
Matt Farah, Smoking Tire. And
that'll get you?
And if I just, not if I'm watching it or but sometimes it's like, I'll be like typing and then I'll go like this. Like I'll kind of like look out of the corner of my eye and it's just, and then
you get that. Woof.
And we'll just be like, what was that? Like, it's just this like hint. It's fucked.
That's wild, man.
But it's as I've been getting older, it's like it's like sort of like a hint of and that's what it is. It's not motion sickness per se. It's like more like vertigo. Yeah.
I wonder if you can train that out or if that's actually in the brain.
They can train the motion sickness out.
Okay.
Through what's called exposure therapy.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's like a lot of people who like, it's psychosomatic.
Right.
it's the motion sickness. Like it's actually so much of it is from your like, there's some deep rooted fear of flying or fear of not having control.
Right.
Like relinquishing control to
so
people.
the not having control thing, I can get that.
Yeah.
Because I'm a control freak.
Yeah.
And like being a passenger in a vehicle, I don't do good.
Yeah.
I don't do good at all. Like
Right.
I get sick. I get motion sickness.
Yeah.
Put me in the back seat, it's even
it's
worse.
toast, yeah.
Put me on a bus, I'll barf.
See?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Last time when I was in Egypt, we had to take a bus from Luxor to Cairo.
Right.
That was the roughest bus ride of my life. And I think that's like the last time I've ridden on a bus.
And it's crowded.
It's crowded. Hot. It was hot. AC wasn't working. And that thing was like floating like a Buick, right? Just like woof, and you're just
and it's like for me too, like it's weird. Like I can be on a speedboat on a lake when it's like like you're like ripping, right? If you're going fast or you're on a fishing boat or something, it's like bang, 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 bang. No problem.
Yeah, I mean,
as soon as I get something that's like medium sized or bigger where it's on the ocean and you get the wave.
Right.
Toast. Done.
When
it's weird.
When my wife and I were doing the cruise we did a cruise through the Caribbean. Oh man, this is by about 2016 or something, 15, 16, somewhere in there. We hit some rough weather for like 4 or 5 days.
Oh.
And it didn't. The first day I was kind of like, oh, it made it worse when I was on the balcony.
Oh yeah, you're not supposed to be on the balcony. You're supposed to be in the middle of the ship. You're supposed to get to like the center of gravity.
But even just like
seeing it.
Just seeing it. Like I was on it and I'm like, oh man, this is I didn't get sick. My wife though, she was like, shut her down.
Yeah.
So we like stayed like a whole day in the room, and we're just laying on the bed, and we were watching Impractical Jokers for a whole day, and she's just like I can't walk.
Yeah.
Like I can't walk. It's just too much.
As soon as you stand up,
and you're just like trying to get those sea legs. After about day 3, I guess like exposure therapy kind of thing, you're kind of like, all right, like I got
but it's
this.
like, do I want to like sign up for 3 days of that shit to get 7 days?
Yeah.
The next, I don't know.
And we weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
Like we were just kind of like, I don't know, just weren't.
But then you have people, and I guess to me that's the other. Now we're talking about like travel, whatever. But it's like my issue, especially with cruises, because of the length of time. Because you're talking, 5, 6, 10 day, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's part of my phobia on the flights as well, especially transcontinental flights. You're like, if I get up in this fucking aluminum tube and it's 8 hours and 4, you know what I mean? And it's like, and it's bad.
Yeah.
You can't escape it.
Can't do nothing.
It's not like in a car where you're like, fucking pull this shit over. It's just like, take a rest. It's like, and same on a cruise. Like if you get out, you get on the cruise, you unpack your shit, you're like, all right, this is gonna be fun. And then it's like, mom, and it goes, and then all of a sudden you're like, this is not good. You're fucked. Like it's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna call a helicopter? Like it's just, it gives me that like phobia, that claustrophobia of being trapped, right? Like it's just.
Well, because that's you guys are going on one, right?
No, not on a cruise.
Oh no, okay,
no,
it's not you guys.
We're not going on a cruise.
Maybe it's the neighbors that are going.
As per my just 5 seconds ago, as you can tell, like I'm probably never.
Have you ever done one?
No,
no,
no. But I've done like my worst experience on the water was whale watching.
Oh,
in Hawaii.
Yeah, okay, but that's a smaller boat.
It was but it was decent. I mean, okay, you're talking about
not like a cruise ship.
It's not a cruise ship, but I mean, it's it held 200 people, right?
Right. Yeah.
But it's like,
it was rocking.
I lasted like all of like 30 seconds. Like literally we're like, and the same thing, we got such good seats too. That's the funny thing. Like we were on the like top. They had like these like lounge tables in a booth.
Yeah.
And you were overlooking the water. Yeah. Perfect. And we sat down and then they're like, they serve drinks on there, like ready to go. And I'm just like, this is gonna be good. And then it's like, and the weather was perfect. Like it was just perfect. And it was like, tuk, 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 tuk. And we get out. I'm like, this is so fucking nice. And then we go around the seawall, like around the breaker, like, tuk, 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 and you like come around.
And then the ocean
and then
hits,
and then they start, and then they like throttle up, and you're like start to get out there. It's like, I'm like, yeah. And then it was like, and it was just like this weird. It was like, and I'm like, what? Oh man! And I like, I was like crawling I was fucking people up, like getting at me, like
look at the whales, fuck the whales.
I was like knocking people
thing.
over the side, like I was just, and then there's like the gangway, like on either side, and I was literally like, get the fuck out of my way, and I ripped down the stairs, and I just made it to the head, like just made it to the bathroom, and I was like toast, and then so the rest, so for an hour and a half after that, I'm like, the door to the bathroom. I'm now on the main level on the bench, like they just have the wooden bench, and I'm just like with my eyes closed, white face, and I'm just like, okay. And I was like breathing exercises, like
somebody tries to use the bathroom, don't you dare. That's mine.
Yeah, I'm like no, but then you had people going to use it, and I'm like, oh my, and then you get tense. It's just like, okay, like someone's in the bathroom, like, hey, don't use it, don't puke, don't puke.
And you get the sweats.
Yeah,
when your body just sweats,
and it's Maui, so it's 30 degrees out. The sun's on you. And then you couldn't stand up because it was too much. And then meanwhile, there's this dude on the PA, and he's like, oh, check it out, man. We're gonna have, and he just wouldn't stop fucking talking. And I'm just like,
I'm trying to concentrate on not throwing up here, man. Shut
the fuck up. And the best feeling, like, do you understand? Like the best feeling was like, all right, that concludes it, man. We're just gonna head on back to the docks, and you hear turning, and then you can see land, and I'm just like, oh god, and then
get me off of this thing. Oh man!
And then my family was like, where the fuck were you?
It's like, it's having the time of my life, puking my guts out.
You know what though? That riot, like rum and ginger cocktail, and those fish tacos an hour later at the bar was the best meal I've ever had in my life.
And that's the other thing, ginger. You got to take some ginger to try to keep that down.
Oh, but it's like so, and your body is like so designed to like encode that stuff. Like it's designed to be like, okay, this motherfucker's never getting on a boat again. Like that's like how, and you're wired, like you can't, to undo it, it would take so much exposure. It's like,
if you have one bad experience, it can really throw you up.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
It happened. It's just, but that's the thing. But it's like race car, track.
Yeah.
If I'm driving.
Yeah.
I can be out there all day.
If you're in control.
I can be out there all day.
If you were driving that boat, you probably would be fine.
Yeah.
Like that's what's messed up.
Yeah. Like if you're, could you go up to the captain, be like, I need to drive this fucking thing. You just got to
move over.
Now I'm the captain. You're just like.
It's
land ho! You're like spinning the big wheel.
I'm turning this bitch around.
You're probably right. No, but you're probably right. I mean, they say that with going back to the exposure for people like with flying issues.
Right.
They take them up in a trainer and they teach them how to fly.
Yeah.
And they start to like pull on the stick, move the plane around.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they're cured.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to do with it.
Even just understand the mechanics and stuff like that.
Yeah. Or maybe I don't know. Like maybe it's that. Maybe it's just understanding that like what you're like, what's happening, like what the pilot's doing when you feel those things
is normal,
or maybe your brain, maybe it's that like split second of your equilibrium and your brain being able to like talk to each other.
Yeah.
And just say like, you can visualize, okay, he's turning he's like, he's like moving the flaps this way. He's using the rudder. He's doing whatever. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's that like split second of like when somebody else does it, you get that like, you're looking and then all of a sudden it does this and you're like, okay, now we're going this way, but maybe, I don't know. But
when I was in Ethiopia, we were driving up to some like 12 hours. We drive up into like the middle of the desert and like, it's not a road. It's just and we're sitting facing each other, like on bench seats in the back of this Jeep like facing each other.
Yeah.
Whew.
That got rough.
And like the worst is I'm looking across at a couple of the other guys that were with us and they're turning white and you're going like, if you're feeling, and I'm like, I gotta be strong. I gotta hold this together, right? And then you're looking at them going like, you guys ain't doing good either. and we're all just like, rrr. And one guy I was with, he had like a bladder infection.
And
he's like every bump, and you could just see him like
wincing every,
and you're just like, oh man, that was the second time to Ethiopia. That was rough, man. That was rough. But speaking of travel, chaos still. Like chaos,
I don't even want to
everywhere.
Like,
and we were just talking. We're like, man, we got to get that. We got to go someplace. We got to get the hell out of here.
How do you get out of here?
Can't
like,
get
how
out
do you
of
even
here.
leave?
You can't. It's insane. Like, oh, I don't know. Like, we might try and drive across the border in November or something. Like, just go to the States.
You almost have to do something by car.
Pretty much, right?
Like, I don't, man.
But then the fuel prices and just the chaos of it all. Like, I don't know. Like, I think we might be tied down. Like, we were looking at like Indonesia, maybe trying to get over to Bali or something like that. I just want to go someplace where there's nobody there. Like, I just want to get on a beach and just shut off. Like, I don't even want to bring the phone. Like, I just want to shut off. Like, book a one-way ticket for and come home when I feel like it.
It goes back to that, like, the tinfoil hat people.
Mm.
And it's almost like, yeah, a lot of what they say is crazy, but how can it not be? But it's sort of like, how can it not be true in some ways when you look at what has happened over the last 24 months?
Yeah, 24, 48.
It's 40. Well, yeah, you're talking about 36 or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's almost like, how could it not be planned?
I know.
You know, like, that's the funny thing. Or they say, like, there was they posted a bunch of Breitbart News.
Yeah.
Posted a bunch of like screenshots of economists like tweeting, and their tweets from 2020, 2021 to today, and it just, the shit they say with a straight face is insane.
Oh.
And it's almost like, and then they say, like, you know, the whole, like, the inflation thing, and it's like, it is impossible that inflation will reach this level, and that was in like 2021.
Yeah.
But then
here we are.
and then everyone's like, well, because that's like Econ 101.
Yeah.
Like, you learn that shit your first week.
Yeah.
So, like, how can a professional economist think it's impossible when it's like literally everything they were doing is exactly what causes it?
Yeah.
You know, it's like so
well.
weird.
The thing is it's like, it's just the same mistakes repeated over and over.
Yeah.
It's not like this is the first time.
No.
It's
and what led to this is exactly what led was the same as what happened before. Like,
and as time moves on, the scale just gets bigger. So like it's like, yeah, okay, maybe during like the plague, you know, like World War II and stuff, it was big for that time.
Yeah.
It's bigger now because, well, there's this many more people and there's this much more money and there's this much more economy, so it's even bigger.
Yeah. But it's like exactly what happened in like when the Great Depression hit.
Yep.
It happened like from World War I, and then everybody, and then the booming, you know, the roaring 20s, and it's exactly what it was. There was just money. They were printing money.
Yeah.
Money was floating everywhere.
No.
Everything went up, and then everything crashes.
Yep.
And it's just like, so how many times can it happen? It's like almost like a train that it's going off the rails, and like nobody wants to say, like, you know,
it's going off the rails.
You know, like going back to, I think, because we talked about it, maybe it was even last week, but that idea of like people living in their parents' basement with with zero like
ambition to move forward.
Well, zero ambition to move forward. No, but also, and zero bills and zero commitments.
Yeah.
You can't give them $2,000
Nope.
a month.
No. They're going to buy more video games.
You're just buying more shit. No, but that's it. They're just buying more shit.
Yeah.
And if they buy more shit, then you're just artificially inflating the demand for stuff that shouldn't be. You know? It's just like when, like, how can it, like, for a while, this was like 3 months, they were doing the minus mortgage, where your mortgage in the state, it was even like, they were giving you 0.1% interest to like buy the house.
Right.
So for the first 6 months, they were actually paying you $30 a month.
Yeah.
And then your mortgage started at 0.9%. So it's like, well, yeah, like obviously things are going to get more expensive if all of a sudden people can buy shit for free.
Yeah.
You know, or like for, you know, borrow money for free.
Yeah.
So it's like, what were they thinking? And then now with the travel thing, same thing. It's like, well, you morons crushed the industry. Like, you guys just destroyed it with these, like, with nonsense. And then now they're supposed to turn
like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like, I mean, even like Air Canada canceling like all those flights because they just don't have the staff.
But at least that makes sense in the sense that, like, okay, if I go on my app, like if I go on the internet, if I go on Expedia, or I go on Air Canada, and the flights that are there are crewed and available and don't get canceled, and you have enough ground crew for my luggage, and you have all that shit, fine. Like, I think that's the better idea. Like, cut the flights. That's fine.
Yeah, I just don't see,
because at least when I plan my vacation, I like know.
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
What is and
what is and what isn't, right?
Yeah,
but if like, there were people in oh my God, Heathrow? Yeah, in the UK.
Yeah.
Their flights were getting canceled with them on the plane.
I heard. Yeah, I read some articles about that.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. This one lady had like an $11,000 ticket, and they were begging her to get off the plane.
Yeah.
And she's just like I spent $11K on this.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. There was another lady, I read this one. And I mean, like, some of you got to be careful on how much is bullshit and how much is legit. There's one lady, she's like, I specifically traveled with no luggage, so I didn't have to check it, just carry on.
And they stole her luggage, and they made her
to check
and then they
lost it. You're like,
I read that.
That's rough.
That's right.
That is rough. Like, shit's broken when that.
Well, like when
happens.
we go to St. Martin, when we go in September, I don't know what we're gonna do.
I wouldn't bring anything. Where are you going?
St. Martin.
Shit's cheap there. Just don't bring anything.
Yeah,
just
like,
buy your shit when you get there and give it to kids when you leave. Honestly.
But my main problem is like going through Pearson.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
it's almost guaranteed to miss the connection.
See, and like that's what I was talking to my wife about was like, if we're going to travel somewhere, let's drive to like Vancouver.
Totally.
And like enjoy, like make it an extended trip. Let's drive to Vancouver so we don't have to take those internal flights.
Yeah.
And then we're direct to where we want to go.
Yeah, because if you're direct to where you want to go and you have a carry-on, you're limiting, it's like there's a very decent chance they'll go fine.
Pretty much.
Or if it gets delayed, it's like, what is it going to get delayed? An hour, 2 hours, 3 hours? But at least you're
and then
like,
what do you do? You're just hanging out in the airport, reading another book, right? Like whatever.
Yeah. But it's the connection that's dangerous, or customs. Like if you're like worrying about, like, I think that's the and then now they're
and don't plan anything.
Yeah. and then they just announced this morning or yesterday that they're starting the COVID testing again in Canada at the airports.
Well, okay. So what's this
testing.
Delta B5? Like again, like this is not the podcast you come to for accurate information, but now there's some sort of other variant that's like. I don't know. It's supposed to be more susceptible, more contagious.
But it always is. Like that's the thing.
Right?
It's like that's the problem. Like at some point you have to say.
I think it's already there. It's just that the government's not there. Like they're trying to protect us from us, but we're not. We don't care. I don't think we care as much. I think like. I mean that's easy for me to say a healthy.
But then those other people can take those. Those other people can take those precautions.
Right.
But like this bullshit about, and it is, I don't care what, you protect me and I protect you. No.
Yeah.
Because that's not what society, like, like it's just like this whole idea of like, how is me being vaccinated protecting you? It's not. Yeah. It's just not, because it's like, they've already proven I can carry it to you.
Right.
So, so unless we don't see each other, we're not protecting each other. Like it's just, so at some point, like, like I feel like, like they never calculated how infectious the seasonal flu was every year. Oh, this version is going to be 60% more infectious than the last version. Okay. But they didn't change. It doesn't change what you do.
Yeah.
They're like, get the flu shot or don't.
Yeah.
If you feel sick, you fucking stay home.
Well, I think Canada just announced under 5 now. They're doing the vaccine.
Yeah,
that just announced yesterday too. So.
And they're like, why? To deal with the 5 kids who, I don't know. Like I just, it's almost, but like you said though, it's like, they're throwing shit at the wall, but it's
not sticking.
I don't feel like it isn't sticking like it was anymore, which is
well, and they're also
like
just
positive.
trying to throw. I don't think that they know what the target is.
Yeah,
I don't know how you do know. Like I don't know I don't know how you'd figure out
what the target is.
Yeah, and like that's part of my. Like just how I see just random things being thrown out there when it comes to like facts, articles, what's legit, what's not.
Yeah.
Like the clickbait.
Yeah.
Like I've just never. It's the same thing. We started this podcast 2.5 years ago because we were confused about what the fuck was going on the planet. I'm just as if not more confused today than I was 2.5 years ago.
Well, because all you can really do, and this is like true, like.
You just talk it out. You just talk it out.
Well, you're talking it out, but I mean,
yourself feel better.
But I mean, like when it comes to like, all I can do is behave based off of like my personal assessment of of the situation, what I feel, right? So it's like, and the longer this goes, and the more times I get it, I've had it already. My family's had it.
No.
And you go through it, the less it's almost like I feel like it was more people were more scared when less people had it.
That's true.
But
and then they freaked out a little bit more. Like I mean, I go with like, you know, Bill Burr said it once on a podcast. You know, he just kind of just did like, I mean, and I'm in the same boat. I'll do whatever the hell like you ask me to. Like really, like I mean, I'm not a doctor, and if you want us to wear masks, all right, I'll wear masks. I might not like it, but yeah, I mean, I'll wear masks if that's what it is. That's what it is. You want me to stay in the house? I'll stay in the house.
Yeah,
I think like we're, you know, you, me, and some other people, like they might be in a better position to be able to do that because of finances and stuff like that. Some people like they can't, and that's why the government steps in and starts giving money. I don't know. Like I don't know what the answer is. Yeah. There is so many folds to this origami.
Whatever it is, or, yeah.
There's so many folds, and folding one over here is going to affect a fold over there.
But it's like it's just and then you almost think it's like going back to the conspiracy theorists. But it's like when you look at all this and then you unfold that origami, it's like at this point it is just as likely to say evil empire trying to take over the world as saying like everybody's a fucking idiot. Like there's it's literally the like it's just as likely because of how deep, how many decisions had to be made in certain orders for things to make sense.
Well, and even just like people making decisions over here and people making decisions here that are contradictory to that. And like you're just like everyone's just making their own decisions. And you're just like, well, so at the end of the day, you're like, well, this guy, they're making decisions.
It's almost like
I just got to make a decision for me and my family and what's best too.
It's like all the biggest catastrophes are when people analyze it, it's always like a series of like 24 bad decisions,
pretty much,
or small decisions, or if this person didn't decide, you know, and it's just like all the and it's the same thing. It's like, do you think those like quote unquote infectious disease specialists or immunologists, it's like, do you think they don't enjoy being on national television? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, do you think
that's not the case?
But it's like they're human.
What is it?
It's like, you know, but it's like, so I don't know. Do they want the train to stop?
Yeah.
Charging $500 an appearance. It's like, do they want the train to stop? No. Do the pharmaceuticals want the train to stop? No. Do it's all these things, right?
There should be like, you know, actually I talked about this yesterday too. There should be we were talking about I can't remember her name now. She showed up at an event in a see-through pink dress. She's Black Widows.
Pew.
Black Widows.
Poog. Where's her name? Pew.
She showed up in. She's Black Widow's sister in the Marvel movies, right? So she showed up in this see-through dress. You can see her tits and everything like that, and like, and so then I read her post, and it was like how she was just like, I can't believe how badly like you people attack us, and it's just like they're just breasts, they're just nipples, but she was like people shamed her body image, right? And I didn't like the way she wrote the article because she's like, how you men.
She spun it in a weird,
She said how you men attack us and shame our bodies, and I was like, whoa, like I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
like I really don't care. Like you want to walk around with your tits out, like how they look. It's none of my business. I don't care, right? Yeah. Like it doesn't matter to me. So I agreed with everything she said, other than the fact that she said that it was like she specifically went you men, when it should be like some men think that it's okay to just like go to town and say whatever they want and shame and blah 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 blah, right? On the flip side of that, I gotta remember where I was going with this. Anyway, it's fuck, I don't remember where I was going with this. I was thinking about that, and the men go through the same thing, but on a lesser degree. Like when I look at Jason Momoa after he did Aquaman, somebody took a picture of him and he's like full dad bod.
Yeah, because he just had. Yeah,
and people just shit on him, and you're like, fuck, like, okay, the guy that wrote the shit on article, let me take a picture of yourself and post it shirtless and post it at the top of your article.
Well, that goes.
This is where I was going with it.
Yeah,
I just remember. Okay, they should make it illegal to make money off of that shit. Like somehow they should take away, like, you know, like GQ and all these magazines that sell, and they write these articles, and like somehow I wish, and I know it's impossible damn near, but they should just take the ability to make money off of that stuff, so that, because that's the only reason it's written.
I know, but that's what
that's
people
the only
consume,
reason
though.
somebody takes a picture of you and says your tits look gross is they do it to make money, like because they get paid.
So hang on a second. Can I?
And I hate that.
Just because I didn't go all the way into this.
Yeah.
Were they trashing her because she had her boobs out, or were they trashing her because they thought her boobs didn't look good?
From what I understood, they were trashing her because they thought her boobs didn't look good. They were making comments about her body. Like, your body is not beautiful enough to be walking around naked like that.
Oh.
That's how I understood the information I got.
Well, then, okay. So
that's bullshit.
Then, well, I don't think... Okay. It's going to be unpopular. I don't think she has a right to say anything about that.
Yeah.
You're a celebrity. Like, why do you think she wore that dress?
There is that too.
Like, why? Like, you only wore that dress to get a reaction.
Okay.
So,
all right. So this is where our conversation, me and my wife were talking about this yesterday. This is where our conversation went. It's almost like you do that for attention. Like, you're in a spotlight.
Yeah,
you do certain things.
You're on the red carpet.
And
like,
if you're not ready to like get the comments, don't do it.
Or so don't listen, or don't read them. Like,
right. And so then what we started talking about was like things that are for a cause that are from the heart. So we talked about Sandra Bullock, Matthew McConaughey, some of these really famous actors. They really don't do anything outside of their movies. They're not in the limelight. They're not giving their political opinion.
Well,
they're not
Matthew McConaughey was all over the.
Okay, I might be wrong with that one. Okay,
but a lot of them.
But like,
you're right.
A lot of them,
right.
like,
a lot of them just
they do their craft.
Yes,
they get criticized for their craft, and then everything else they do outside. And the only time you do hear from them is it's something that's near and dear to their heart.
Yes.
So if it's an environmental thing, if it's like and so then. To me, I'm like, well, you're not in the limelight like 99% of the time. You're in the limelight when there's a movie that you've done that's come out.
Yes.
But you're not out there because you're not in the limelight because you're giving your political opinion, your sexual orientation, none of this stuff. But then when you do come out, I feel like it means something.
Yeah.
So when I look at this article, I'm like, did you do that because you were making a statement that you felt was a problem in society and it's something near and dear to your heart about the woman's body?
Yeah.
Or were you doing that because it was an opportunity to get some spotlight,
some press
for, to open up doors somewhere else? And that's where, like, and like you just said it too about the whole COVID thing. Like, do you not think like these guys like the limelight and they don't want the train to keep going because they can write a book later on, or they can have pay for appearances about what was it like being on the board of the WHO and during the pandemic, and
because the thing is like at the end of the day, there's also that it goes back to like the personal, you go back to like personal responsibility. It's like, as an actress or an actor or whatever, but we'll use actresses because there is that double standard of how they dress versus a guy. Because a guy show up in a black tuxedo, look good, whatever.
Yeah.
We're just a bunch of dudes in penguin suits. Like, the girls have the women have it tougher that way, be fair.
For sure.
But at the same time, you're like, if I want to stay out of the spot, like, yes, my craft is my acting. I want to stay out of the spotlight. I just do my tours, like, to promote the movie. After I'm done, I go back home. I don't like reading. I'm just the type of personality. I don't like seeing my pictures out there. I don't like reading negative comments. It's like, then just show up in a black dress.
Right.
Like, it's an event. Like, the cameras are there. It's a red carpet. Just dress. Yeah, you'll never be on the best dress list. You'll never be on the, oh my God, like, look how terrible this dress was list. Like, you'll never be spotlighted, but you can do what you want to do. So it's like, at some point, you know what I mean? It's just like, you're basically asking, it's like if you got a job, like if you got an office job and you showed up in board shorts, flip-flops, and a tank.
Yeah. And
you kept doing it until they fired you. They'd have no choice but to fire you. Would it be their fault or your fault? You showed up at a meeting. You're just like, "Sup, bros?" And you like sit down, put your light feet on the thing. It's like, well, you're.
I would hate that guy just because I'm like, man, I want to do that.
Yeah. For the 2 weeks he was here, man, that was awesome.
Guy was awesome.
But it's just like, so that's your job. Like, you're still doing a job. The job is. People forget that, and we were praising the actors last week because that's normal people can't do that job, and I get it. But then there's also the second thing where it's like, if you make $10 million a year, don't be pissed when somebody comes in up to you and asks for your autograph,
right?
Because it's basically impossible that won't happen. Right. Because without that person, you don't have
the $10 million.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Nothing's free. Like nothing is free. Nothing comes without a cost of some kind.
And you just won't change. Like you just won't change people. I don't know. Like I think to a certain degree, you just won't change people. I mean,
don't think so. Because now with social media, you're just getting more of what those small percentages would have been. So it's like, that's all it is. So it's like, if I'm out there in front of 120 million people, there's going to be 5 guys who be like, you're fucking fat.
Yeah.
No matter how hot you look, no matter how in good shape you look. Yeah. Some guy's going to be like, you're ugly. Yeah. And like 50 years ago, he would have gone to his work and be like, oh, did you see that? Did you see that article? Fuck, she's ugly. Fuck it.
And it would entertain 5 or 10 guys.
It would entertain. That's right. They'd be like, oh, you're crazy, man. She's hot. And then now he just goes on and
there's
talks.
5,000 of those dudes.
That's all it is. Like, that's all. And you're right. You're not going to change it.
No.
But it's like, but at the same time, to become obsessed with a minority that's become like amplified makes it's a losing game. You're never going to win.
And the sensationalism too. Like the person that asked, like, well, are you upset about this? For her, I would have just been like, I'm just not surprised.
Be like, you know what, like, my boyfriend loves it, or my husband loves it, or my fans love it, or I feel great in the dress. I'm glad I did it.
I'm proud of it.
I'm proud of it.
I don't really give a shit what anybody else thinks.
Yeah, like that's just like, but you're right to like spin it and to like have it as a sort of like the continuing war on like the male condition.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy just how mentally people take this stuff. Yeah. Like people just need to not give a fuck. Yeah. Like just like if somebody says something, it's like, I guess that's your opinion, but I dig it.
Yeah.
And it's like I got 400 people over here liking it, and I got one asshole not. Why am I gonna worry? Like,
why are you writing an article about the one asshole? That's right.
Just and like responding to it.
Yeah.
I think to a certain degree, like drown it in not responding to it.
Yeah.
Like, and that works only, I think, in certain things you can, that works. Like, I mean, if it becomes physical or something like that, but words, it's kind of like,
or if the entertainment industry cared about making a difference, like if GQ, I'm not GQ or Vanity Fair.
I just use GQ because it's the only one I know. Yeah.
But like, if those magazines actually cared about like, quote unquote, like sort of looking after these actresses and actors, it's like, write the article being like, look how amazing she looked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I know there was some
stunning in her, like whatever.
Yeah,
but it's like they just, like, oh man,
it's kind of like the whole like even when they write the article and they put the emphasis on the fact that it's see-through dress, like just like if you just say like, look at this stunning dress, blah blah, and then let other people go like it's see-through, but don't have the article point out that it's see-through.
Like even
like,
to have,
I don't know,
and even to have like this is, and here's another thing, like because I remember growing 80s, 90s, early 2000s. They would wear whatever at those awards. Like, and I'm talking like some of it was like the sheer, like a lot of them were wearing sheer.
Yeah.
You would see Megan Fox. You saw her boobs like
I know.
Not too long ago.
Yeah, not long ago.
And like now, these articles they blurred her boobs out, and you're like, what are you doing?
Two-way standard thing.
That's right. That's right. It's like, so which one is it? Like, so are you women empowered? You can do whatever you want,
or not,
or are you guys a bunch of prudes? Like,
you should have seen this article came out about the BET Awards and some of the outfits that were on that runway. There was a lady on there. I don't know who it was. She was wearing nothing but these 2 nipple covers with a chain in between it on the top end, and then she like. I mean, I don't even know what the point was. Like, just walk the thing naked. Like, I don't like if you're like really.
Yeah.
Like what? I don't even know what they're doing anymore.
For years and years, like I'm talking like 50, 60, 70 years. It's like in Europe, it's like there's boobs everywhere on the like in ads.
Oh, the nude beaches.
The nude beaches.
Like, it was like
it's just like come on. Yeah. Like we're here. It's like again, it goes back. It's like so does everything matter? Or nothing matters. You tell me.
Is it like do as the Romans do or what was the saying?
When in Rome.
When in Rome.
Yeah.
Do as the Romans do or whatever. Yeah. So I don't know.
Anyway, but we got
to cut it. So we went from puking on a boat to
we went from getting jacked, puking on a boat, boobs.
Boobs.
Love it. That's
welcome to 4th Gen.
That's part of the
tell your friends.
Tell your friends. That's the adventure.
Yeah, that's the
maybe
adventure.
Guests will keep us on topic.
Yeah, we got to get some people in here, man. There's some really cool stuff that we got to talk about, and I want to try and find some people.
Okay.
The new images that came in from that. Oh my lord, those are gnarly.
Yeah, maybe we should get somebody from the Telus.
That's what I'm trying to find. I was trying to find somebody else. So if there's anybody out there, reach out to us. That would be super cool to talk about. Oh, there's all sorts of stuff. Tesla had to shut down a thing. They had to shut down a plant. They're I don't know what's going on there, but it sounds like they're not doing too well. They were losing a boatload of money. Can't get chips. So they can't get the stuff to make the cars.
Yeah, well, that's bound to happen.
So that was something that we got to touch base on sometime. What was the other one that was really cool was, I guess not really cool. I guess Elon Musk news again, but the whole Twitter thing.
Love it. I think he's playing.
Billion,
you know what I think he's
away
doing?
From the deal.
I think it was his honest. You know what I like? Well, we can talk about it next time, but I think it's a grand plan. He just wants to take Twitter out.
Just shut her down.
Just shut her down. So I think this whole thing is like, because now if they go through the legal proceedings to for him to get out of it, they're going to have to show everything. Yeah, and when they show everything,
what are they going to see?
What are they going to see? What are we going to what is the world going to see? And he's not above it. Like, he's already said Tesla's not designed to make money.
Yeah.
He doesn't care if everything crumbles, right? SpaceX, it's just for him to forward humanity, or in his opinion.
It is, yeah.
So for him to lose $1 billion, $2 billion, $5 billion of paper money of his quote unquote wealth, I don't give a shit.
Well, I think they were saying no matter what, it's $1 billion to get out of that deal.
Yeah. But fuck. Yeah. And if he's like,
they're just trying to hold him to the 44.
It's like it's like if the company's worth 44 and it costs me $1 billion, so it's worth 4, and I just kill them, and they have to show their cards and they have to show how shitty their platform is. He's like, that'd be worth it to him. Yeah. How would it not? It'd be worth it to me if I had 44 billion. Never mind. It's like, fuck.
And the other one that was kind of neat, last thing I lined out, do your homework. Bitcoin, if it drops to 10,000, they're saying that's it. Bitcoin would be over, because it doesn't even at 10,000 doesn't even cover the mining costs that it's costing right now to actually mine it.
Right.
So if it gets to 10,000, it's kind of it might be.
It'll cost more than $10,000 worth of resources to make one.
Yeah, to make one.
Yeah.
So that was kind of an interesting article. I don't know how much truth is in it. Just something I read. Oh man, there's so much going on. The world is just flying right now. Yeah, just flying. In all directions. Anyway, survive another week.
Boobs.
Boobs. Survive another week.
Later.
Later.